the upside and it's just phenomenal. We think it's blue sky potential here. And this could be that, there's no reason why we wouldn't be able to find the next largest, lithium mine in the world. It could be the greatest discovery in 2022, 2023.
Well, hello to viewers tuning into Assay TV. We're speaking with Tantalex Lithium Resources today, a company focused on developing strategic metals, specifically lithium, tantalum, and tin, within projects across Africa. And I'm pleased to introduce Eric Allard, who is Chief Executive Officer. Eric, welcome.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you for having me on your show.
It's great to be discussing with you around these strategic metals, of course, and we're pleased to be getting an insight onto the Tantalex project. But first, could you give us an overview of the company, the history, perhaps how it was formed?
Sure. Tantalex, we date back from 2013. We were listed on the CSE, a Canadian Securities Exchange in Vancouver. And then, so at the onset, started on tantalum projects up until about 2016, 17, when we first got our first concessions in the DRC. That's about the time when I had joined as an operations manager. And so, the whole area in Manono at the time, we were pretty much, the first people pioneering going back to this historical mine that there was in Manono, and which was also very well known for, lithium. It was a tin mine, but obviously rich in LCT pegmatites and spodumene. There was some literature about the area. And we arrived there and basically managed to get a hold of two very large concessions downstrike from the historical tin mine, and been working away at developing this area since then. So in 2018, we did a very, very short program on drilling. We only drilled about 1,500 meters, and then obviously the downturn in the lithium prices, the markets weren't so good. It was difficult to finance. So we went into a little bit of a quiet period for about 2 years, and emerged back in mid 2020 with a new team. And we had also bought the Manono Tailings project. So the whole historical tailings, that from the old historical mine, basically, we bought those assets, and starting mid 2020, started working away with our new strategic investor, Afrimet Resources, who had already a good team on the ground. And from there, we since then we've just been rolling and developing our projects nonstop. So I'm just glad to be able to give you an update on where we stand today in 2022.
That's a great snapshot. Let's hone in on some of the projects indeed, and then we can perhaps talk about why these metals, and then a bit more about the company after. So segmenting them, if you like, into the various projects that you own and operate. Let's start with Manono, the DRC, this pegmatic corridor. What's your exploration that you're conducting through this region?
Manono, was from 1913 to the mid 1980s, was a huge tin operation, tin and tantalum operation. 180,000 tons of tin were actually extracted from that mine, and 4,500 tons of tantalum. So even in today's terms, that's huge. I mean, that was big production. At one point, I believe around the Second World War, it was the largest tin mine in the world. So the whole pegmatite, it's a lithium, cesium, tantalum pegmatite enriched with cassiterite as well, which is the mineral providing the tin. But this whole area was, there were 6 open pit mines. It's a 15-kilometer long corridor, 250-meter wide strike. Right now, it's most likely the biggest and largest pegmatitic deposit in the world. For rare earth minerals like we're looking at. As a matter of fact, AVZ Minerals, which is our neighbor, started the works back in 2016-17 as well. And they had the concession of the old historical mine. And, through their drilling, proved up the largest lithium resource in the world, undeveloped, 400 million tons at 1.65%. It's just absolutely huge. And we're just fortunate to have the tailings above, and obviously the concessions downstrike from there. So we have still a lot of work to do to prove our resource, but very promising.
Yeah, well, that will lead to my next question. You know, what's the strategy? How are you going to define this resource? And when do you sort of say, okay, right, that's the resource, we're going to mine this, or we're going to keep exploring?
So the tailings project, we managed in 2021 to drill 10,000 meters of air core spread throughout the dumps. You know, this is our first pass, get a real glimpse at the distribution of the lithium and the tin and the tantalum content throughout the dumps. We did a volumetric drone survey as well, which determined 105 million tons of material. Right now, our assay results have started coming in. As we expected. There's a lot of variability throughout the dumps. I mean, it wasn't always hard rock pegmatite that they were putting in the dumps or the tailings. But we have intercepted some fantastic results in the southwestern portion, the K dumps, the G dumps, some intercepts at from surface to the bottom of the dump at 1% Li2O. Right now, obviously, it's still too early for us to call it a resource. We've hired MSA Group in South Africa to conduct the mineral resource estimate, and we'll also be doing our scoping study. So, and we've sent the bulk samples as well to Cormet for metallurgical testing, 3 times 3.5 bulk samples. So, what we're looking at right now is a higher grade project in the southwestern portion, likely, hard to tell about the tonnage, and then a mine life of 5 to 10 years, higher grade, we can put to the bring product to the market as early as possible. I mean, that's really our objective right now. We know the world needs it, and the idea is to bring it to the market. So we're looking at that. We have some lower grade intercepts as well, but very rich in tin and tantalum. Looking at different processing methods, we're going to be testing this right now in the met labs to be able to extract as much of the lithium as we can, even though it's lower grade. Lower grade being 0.2, 0.3%. We'll be trying to get something out of there along with the tin and the tantalum. Please, we always have to keep in mind this is a tailings project, which the extraction and mining costs are absolutely low. And we're looking at ways for the higher grade product. The standard DMS route is obviously more than convenient. So
excellent.
Yeah. So,
and are there any key milestones on some of those items coming back? The assay results, the bulk sampling, or indeed the PEA, when you're expecting to
right. Right now, obviously all the work we're doing right now is to issue a PEA by September. That's our goal right now, issue our first PEA by September. So, and from there, obviously a PEA, but we'll have optimized the process flow sheet. We'll have determined the trade-off studies between run of mine and mine life. So we'll have a really good idea in September what exactly we have, and what kind of project we're going to be ready to build.
And with the lithium component, does that sort of dictate what your end product's going to be? Because obviously the lithium and the chemical process to produce either a battery grade chemical of varying standard is, it's far more of a chemical process as well as just a mining one. So do you have a strategy in place as to where this product's going to end up, what it's going to look like? Obviously, there's a lot of results that you're waiting on to determine that, I imagine, but do you have an idea already?
And our projects are located in the DRC. The DRC is adamant on making sure that we do refine our products and not just send concentrates away, but have a second manufacturing process to create jobs, create the riches. We are also obviously in a sort of isolated region, maybe almost in the middle of Africa. So our transport costs are quite large. We can either go through the east towards Dar es Salaam into Tanzania, or export through Angola and Lobito port. But nonetheless, the costs are large. It's 1,500 kilometers either way. So the more we can refine in country, the better, for no doubt. And that's our vision in the longer term. That's definitely our vision. But before doing that, I believe, we have to be careful in certain ways, whereby let's first be able to produce the concentrate. That's the first step, obviously, in getting to do the lithium hydroxide plant. It's a different beast, and to build a lithium hydroxide plant and just mining for the SC6 concentrate. So we have to take our time here and first get our PEA out before we really analyze that option.
Yeah, certainly. Okay, could we focus more regionally then on the Labula Tin and Tantalum project? Tell us about this advanced project.
Well, this is a fantastic project, really. It's just south of our pegmatite corridor, 30 kilometers, just about 1 hour drive south of Manono, the city of Manono. It's an area that it's very rich in alluvial tin and tantalum. We're getting extremely good grades out of that area, and it's over a large area. So back in 2020, when we had Afrimed join in as a strategic investor, with their expertise and experience in tin and tantalum, this was a no-brainer. I mean, they when Afrimed saw what was on the concessions of Tantalex, they basically ordered the plant right away. It was like it was ordered a plant, because by the time we ordered the plant, we ordered the material and the equipment to do any kind of industrial project. It takes about a year. So right now, I mean, we have all the equipment in country. So, and half of it already in Manono. We're going to be building a semi-industrial plant producing about 118 metric tons per month of tin concentrate and 18 tons of tantalum concentrate per month. So construction is going to start within, I would say, a month. By the time, our transformation of our license to be able to have a mining permit for this is in the last stages at the CAMI. So once we have that, erection will take about 3 or 4 months, and we're looking at generating cash flow, 1 to 1.5 to 2 million per month by September, October this year.
Yep, excellent. And that cash flow is going to be really great for the project and also the company in general, sort of helping to improve financials for your other exploration.
Exactly. I mean, that's the objective, I mean, that we want to continue creating value in the area of Manono. That's what we want to do. And that's why, it's, obviously this year we'll be drilling 9,000 meters of diamond drilling, 6,000 meters of RC, another 8,000 meters of air core along the pegmatite corridor. This whole area south of the largest pegmatite deposit in the world, this whole area, this corridor, which is, trending now northeast, southwest, has never been drilled, besides what we, the 1,000 meters that we drilled in 2018, which did hit pegmatite, by the way. We hit 99 meters of pegmatite. It's never been drilled. So, I mean, the upside and it's just phenomenal. I mean, we think it's blue sky potential here. And this could be that, there's no reason why we wouldn't be able to find the next largest, lithium mine in the world. It could be the greatest discovery in 2022, 2023, for example.
Excellent. So you mentioned Afrimet, strategic investor, that's to have involved near-term cash flow from producing assets. The company financials are looking pretty healthy at the moment.
They are, actually. I mean, we've to get to where we are here, we do have about 480 million shares in circulation right now, and completely and fully diluted will go up to about 600 million shares. So obviously our strategy right now is to be non-dilutive in our going forward. That being said, we're looking, basically, because of their near-term production, we're looking at prepayment options. We're looking at other financing options, debt, rather. But that being said, I mean, there can be a combination of equity, a combination of dilutive and non-dilutive financing. So we're looking at those options right now. I mean, we're well financed with our strategic investor. We're well backed, and I mean, it's a huge group behind backing us, and so we're doing good. I mean, there's nothing stopping us from realizing the projects that we have right now.
Yeah, excellent. Well, let's talk about the initiatives on the environmental side and the sustainability side of projects.
We're working in a very deprived economic zone. After the when the tin mine collapsed, basically because due to pricing in the 1980s, and then there was a little bit of there's some effect from the Rwanda war back in the mid 1990s. The whole area became completely abandoned for such a long time, and it's only starting to regain some of its past notoriety, and just now with what we're doing in the area. Nonetheless, there's a lot of work to be done, and alongside with the government, the municipal government, the provincial government. There's a lot of local NGOs in the area as well to support the population and the community. Just recently, for example, we've financed a whole vaccination against measles for children in Manono. Going from 15 deaths per week down to nil now. So it's a huge positive impact. We just financed as well 150 operations in the new medical facility, along with Upright Africa, the NGO, which is performing the operations alongside the government. So this whole trio of government, NGO, expertise in that area, plus our presence, our support, both logistical and financial, it's really making headwinds in the area. And we want to continue with that. I mean, obviously, education, food. I mean, inflation. It's not just around here; it's over there as well. So, and we need to put food on the table and potable water as well, and that's going to eliminate most of their diseases. So, but that has to be done alongside with them all the time, and that's the most important part. Environmentally, obviously, we're doing the baseline studies because we're starting our projects. Right now, we're at the stage of doing our baseline studies, making sure that all the impacts we will be having are not going to be impacting, or hopefully not be having, but at least we'll be able to monitor what kind of impacts we're having and those we aren't. So that's the idea now.
Yep, excellent, very good. Seems like a lot of good initiatives coming together within the whole. I wanted to ask actually, and perhaps we should cover this earlier on, but let's cover it now. The strategic importance of the metals that you are mining. Obviously, there's a historical play here as to why you're looking for tin, tantalum, and lithium here. But these are new transition metals. Could you just tell us a little bit about them?
Well, I mean, lithium, lithium's, what more can we say about lithium? It's just going to be in chronic shortage for the next 10 years. The price has more than, went up 8 times now in the last little bit more than a year. So everybody's building gigafactories, but nobody really knows where they're going to get the raw material from. So I think we're at the right place at the right time right now to develop this. And our hard rock mining, from an environmental and sustainable perspective, I believe hard rock mining is the way to go forward. Our tailings project obviously has very limited impact. I mean, it's dumps that are already on surface. We won't be creating any negative impact. So, we're at the right place at the right time for lithium, and lithium is getting a lot of the spotlight, and maybe investors know a little bit less, but tin is also a huge component for this high-tech revolution and EV revolution. The price of tin has went from 16,000 to 45,000 just recently per ton. Chronic shortage as well. All that was coming in from Asia is really, the grades are getting lower. There's a lot less supply. Complete shortage at the LME. I think they're looking at some less than a week stock right now. So tin is doing great. Tantalum, very niche market, but 75% of all electronic components have tantalum. It's not going to go anywhere else, and it's only going to be going up 5% CAGR per year. That's expected up until 2030. We have our expertise and our knowledge now. We have all the for us, it's very easy to operate and sell and trade either both of these materials. So it's not a big issue for us. But I mean, we're very confident about the future of these materials. And the beautiful thing about it is whether lithium, tin, and tantalum, they're irreplaceable. There's no alternative to them. I mean, the world will continue needing them all the time. So, I mean, we have the 3 best minerals to work with right now.
Yep. Excellent. Eric, well, thank you very much for taking us through your project, providing a snapshot of Tantalex Resources. We really appreciate the overview, and of course, look forward to catching up with you later in the year to hear about how the projects have advanced.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Adam.
Thanks for speaking with Assay TV.